Hello everybody, my name is Gary Yao, and today I would like to share with you the difference between inflation and what is recession. Now, both inflation and recession are bad terms in economy, but just because one is high doesn't mean that the other is a sure thing or even happening. But just because you have the first thing, meaning inflation, doesn't mean that you have the second, which is recession. Something psychological might be going on in this market. No, so far, inflation has exceeded wage growth for many workers, but wages have still grown substantially over the past year. And the shocking nature of gas surging, at least here in Southern California, to $6-7 a gallon overnight might have further raised the relative subtle progression of wage growth. Inflation feels very bad because your money is worth less, while a recession feels very bad because the economy is creating fewer jobs. Here's how to keep your head straight about these two different economic trends. What is a recession? A recession is the overall decrease in economic activities as a result of the drop in GDP, or gross domestic product. Although less severe than a depression, a recession is characterized by high employment levels, low commodity prices, a fall in the price of assets, and low sales. This lowers the confidence in the economy. So, we have 33 World War recessions since 1854 when we start recording these activities. Although every recession is unique, some known causes of a recession include low consumer confidence in the economy. The spending habits of people changed only to consume necessities. High level of employment. This results in low consumptions, which in turn leads to drop in sales. Employers are hence forced to cut costs. Some positions might become redundant, and this leads to high levels of employment. High interest rate. High interest rate limit liquidity, lower the number of investments in an economy. A fall in the housing prices and maybe in sales, homeowners are forced to cut back in spending as a result of the lost equity. In the last 2 years, we have increase in the equity about 10 to 15% yearly. So that's total about 33% in these past 2 years. The recession is also caused by bursting bubbles, post-war slowdowns. Now, what is inflation? What is inflation? This is an increase in the price of products and services over time in the economy. Subsequently, every unit of currency purchases lesser prices and products, hence weakening the currency. Although economists claim that the moderate inflation is beneficial for an economy, high inflation signifies an overheated economy. Inflation occurs as a result of the growth of an economy, which leads to a higher demand for products and services. As a result of this, demand overpowers the supply, causing prices to rise. Inflation is expressed as a percentage and indicates a decrease in the purchasing power of a currency. This is measured by wholesale price index and CDP, which is consumer price index, CPI. Inflation is classified into demand pull inflation. This is an inflation. Let me just write this down. Demand pull. Demand pull inflation. Okay. This is demand pull inflation. This is an inflation caused by the increase in demand for products and services higher than the economy can produce, hence creating a demand gap supply. We also have the cost push inflation. This is inflation caused by the increase in the cost of production, causing the prices to increase its final product. So the cost to create a product is higher. So you have to charge high for that. And next and last is built-in inflation. This is inflation caused by past events that persist in the present. As an effect, workers may demand an increase in wages, resulting in the rise of costs of products and services. Inflation favors the asset holder as the value of the asset rises. However, it does not favor people holding cash as the value of the currency declines. Inflation should be regulated by employing measures through monetary policies, whereby the central bank determines the rate and size growth of the money supply. Two different things. Inflation and recession describe the momentum of the economy. Inflation makes the economy barrel forward at full speed, sometimes uncontrollably, leading to a price surge and higher cost of living for the average consumer. A recession will be the opposite. It will slow down the economy, marking a decline of economic activities and potentially higher unemployment. Simply put, inflation hits household finances. A prolonged period of inflation means that prices will continue to increase and the same amount of money will buy you less and less over time. Wages tend to rise naturally during inflation to compensate for this. Since inflation is a byproduct of a surge in demand, meaning economic growth, but people with fixed incomes like pensioners have no such luck. Inflation, it gets out of control. If inflation gets out of control, everybody gets poor. Inflation can also be a burden to low and middle income households who have fewer savings or diverse hedges against inflation to fall back on. Inflation could even push some households which have recently left poverty right back into it. On the other hand, inflation can actually help people further down their income scale who have debt, because as inflation goes up, the debt stays in the same place, effectively making it cheaper to service later on. Both inflationary and recessionary periods hurt, but they do so in different ways. According to the Consumer Price Index, the running 8.3% inflation is higher than last year, and the higher cost of critical items includes food, fuel, and housing are grabbing the attention of every American. Unlike inflation, this is very much a reality. We are not in a recession yet, at least not officially. A recession is defined by having two cycles of decline in the economic activities. So we'll see in this coming in July what is going to happen. Now, in conclusion, the recession refers to an overall drop in economic activity as a result in the drop of GDP. And it is defined by having two consecutive quarters of decline. On the other hand, inflation refers to an increase in the price of products and services over a period of time. It is measured by WPI, Wholesale Price Index, and CPI, Consumer Price Index. Both, however, are caused by hostile economic outcomes. We do not know what's going to happen next in the economy as a whole. So the best thing that we have is to have some cash reserves and watch our spending. My name is Gary Yao, and I will talk to you soon.